Hey there, welcome back to the show. We're going to continue our series on NBA draft prospects that the Blazers could potentially get their hands on in June, late June, early July, somewhere around there, usually is when the draft takes place. Today, we're going to be talking about Jalen's little brother, Cody Williams, out of Colorado. I wonder if he knows Coach Prime. I bet they've, I bet they've met. They probably hang. Cody 6'8", small forward or forward combo, 190 pounds. Kind of got that Brandon Miller body type, which we were talking about before the podcast. What if the Blazers would have got Brandon Miller instead of Scoot? Maybe we'll talk about that in the future. Alternate timeline stuff there. How do you guys like Cody Williams fit on the Blazers? Obviously, we skipped over a few point guards on the mock drafts because I don't think the Blazers need to be drafting any more point guards. What do you think, Colton?
If the Blazers draft a point guard, move the team at this point because come on, we're doing the guard carousel constantly, and I'm tired of it. I think that there's no way the Blazers will draft a guard here, especially not at the first pick. Maybe at the second pick if they're going to be making a move for someone like Anthony or Scoot or something in the offseason, which I don't see Scoot moving. So I think that this high pick that the Blazers are going to have their own pick. Cody is a good fit position wise, definitely. You look at his overall stats for the season, and you always got to take in mind in the back of your head, college basketball scoring is not the same as NBA scoring. So when you see somebody at 12.6 points per game, you got to go deeper than that in the numbers, and his percentages are looking really nice. 56% from the field, 42% from three, 72% from the line, and then 61% effective field goal percentage. Combine that at 6'8", his brother knows how to play, but you can't base that on his talent, right? But I think, he's a good fit. I'm going to give a little spoiler alert right now and say I'm kind of more of a Buzelis guy myself, even though Buzelis might not have shown the shooting at the level he's at.
Those Euros know how to play, man.
Yeah, but I do think Cody Williams is a good player to pick up. I'm not enamored by his last 5 games or so. He's had a really rough stretch where he's been in single digits, even though he's shooting pretty efficiently in those games. But March Madness, let's see what kind of an impact Cody has in the tournament. Because if he has a good tournament, his stock's going to skyrocket and be, a top 5, top 3 player. So I like his fit positionally, and I like his percentages. So he's definitely a good fit for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a red herring here, or something that we have to look out for because of the fact that he's only played one season in college. He's a freshman, and it hasn't been great. I mean, he looks okay, but he has had injury problems. He missed like 13 games with injuries. He had one of them was like a face injury, had to wear a mask. That kind of thing is not so concerning because that heals. But he did turn an ankle and lose some other time. Tried to play through it and really couldn't. And so it's kind of hard to know which way that cuts. There's definitely a concern there that we have to look out for. We don't want to draft someone who's injury prone, but at the same time, he might be a little bit undervalued because of the fact that he's been playing in games where he hasn't really been at full health, and that's hurt his stats. He might be better than the stats show. And watching some tape of him, I mean, he looks a lot like his brother, the way that he moves. He's not like a crazy athlete. He's not, jumping out of the gym by any means, but he looks pretty much in control, especially with the ball. He looks like he could be a really good defender, which is interesting because he really wasn't a great defender this year. But again, 1 year freshman dealing with injuries, it's really hard to judge based on that. So yeah, we are probably going to have to see how he plays in March Madness, see if that clutch gene starts to kick in at all. And also, assuming he's back to full health, which he says he is, maybe he's going to finally start playing like he could have all year. And we can really see a stretch of games here where he actually plays the kind of basketball that he would play in the NBA. And that could have a huge impact on where he's ranked in the draft. He could probably go anywhere from about 3 to 10 or 15, depending on how March Madness goes.
I'm a little bit worried about taking another brother of an NBA player. It's getting a little tired of his brother's good. If we can just get the poor man's version of that, we'll be happy. And it's not really worked out that great for Mr. Chris Murray yet this year. Pretty poor rookie season, bordering on abysmal rookie season. But yeah, Cody, I guess he's a pretty good finisher, the rim. That's where he gets a lot of his points is around the rim. But I don't think there's any chance of him really being as skilled as Jalen, just because Jalen's like the best jump shooter in the league statistically this year, which is freaking crazy. Fantastic passer, like triple double threat. Thunder hit big on him, and the chances of Cody really having that same magic, I think, are pretty slim to none. And I agree with you, Colton. I'd rather have Buzelis. We'll be talking about him soon. But if you're gonna go for that forward, lanky, long position, that's probably the guy that I would rather have.
I
Cody,
would argue really quick in this draft, there's not a lot of sure hits. So it's like if we see flashes of J Dub's game and C Dub, as Riley would call him, that's a guy you want to take a swing on in this draft. And yes, I already said I prefer, Buzelis potentially.
do you think he has that? Do you think he has those flashes?
I mean, his stretch in November before he really got hurt, which is what Riley was talking about, consistently having big games in there. You start off, 12, 21, 21, 16, 13, 23, 16, 19. I mean, going through into January. So that was from, November to January, a stretch in November to January.
I
So
don't really see those other stats, the passing or that's sort of what I was referring to, the magic of J Dub is he has a lot to his game, he's not one dimensional, just a scorer, and I don't necessarily see that from Cody. Maybe again it's hard to translate. Assists are the hardest stat to
in college.
translate from college to the pros. Maybe he will. I'm sure J Dub wasn't putting up huge assist numbers in college either, but I for some reason I don't really see him having that same kind of magic. Maybe though. I mean,
Okay, so you
I
want
just
to
don't want another Chris Murray. Please don't
so
just take him because he's a twin or whatever.
something funny as my computer loads and it makes me laugh because I have to wait for it to load. Uh Jay Cody Williams right now is averaging 12.6 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 1.7 assists, right? Jalen, when he was in school, 12.6 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.9 assists. So the assists are up by, what, point or 1.2, which that is a number. But the field goal percentage, Cody's shooting better than his brother from three, worse from the free throw line, better effective field goal percentage. So interesting, and you can't let not everything's going to translate that easily, right? But interesting how they both 12.6 points per game. The rebound numbers are pretty similar. So I don't know. I agree with what you're saying, Kirby, but he's an interesting prospect nonetheless. And I would be excited if the Blazers added him. Let's just say that. I might have preferences, but I would be excited if they added him.
To be honest with you, I think if going through this season, the horrible play, the low record and everything, if that's the player that we ended up with out of this, I think that I would be pretty disappointed.
We'll find
Could
out.
be wrong though. I hope I'm wrong.
As long as it's not a
down on
point
the
guard.
list.
As long as it's not a point guard. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking for.
C-Dub, please be better than Chris Murray. Let us know in the comments down below what you think about Cody Williams. Is he going to be the next Luka Doncic? That's what we're hoping for. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.